let's get this one started up. Some PvZ time. As we have got to the top left-hand side. It is going to be Elazer and Lambo. So Elazer and Lambo on the top left-hand side playing the pink Zerg units and buildings. In the bottom right-hand side, the blue Protoss Archon is going to be MaxPax and BeastyQT. I mean, these guys looked really good in the group stage, actually. They looked really, really good. Elazer and Lambo came out second in that group. They lost out to Seoul and Elazer to finish up in second place. It looked good otherwise. BeastyQT MaxPax just 2-0, 4-0, no problem at all. But then again, so was Skillless and Hellraiser. And they ended up just losing out now in their round of 8. As we have a Terran Archon already in the semi-finals now, with Future and Master advancing. This is, of course, best of 5. I had just best of 3 written there for a moment or two, but best of 5 here in the quarterfinals of this Archon tournament. And, you know, Elazer, Beastie, Lambo, MaxPax, it's a fun combo of players. We might put this up on YouTube, so just a little heads up that this might go on the YouTubes if you guys are watching on there. You guys know what I'm gonna say, but you can hit the like button to support the video. You can subscribe to see when we upload other videos too. We just recently hit 32,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing, by the way. Let me just take a quick moment to talk about this while not much happens early game. We had that race with Base Trade TV last year, right? Who could get to 10k YouTube subs first, and we hit 10k YouTube subs on the 1st of January in 2020. And we are, here we are, pretty much the end of 2020, 32,000 YouTube subs. That's 22k YouTube subs in a year. It's slowed down a lot the last month or two, but holy crap, that's just crazy. Hashtag road to 40k. Gonna try and make a push for 40k in 2021 with the current speed. That's a positive outlook, but I might pick up again at some point and stuff. So yeah, that's the new YouTube goal. So shout out if you have already been subbing on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Feelings come down, chasing the probe away. Stargate is on the way up from MaxPax and Beastie in the main base, so no surprises there. Pretty safe way to open initially. It'll be interesting to see what MaxPax and Beastie really look to do with that playstyle. I imagine we're going to see a few Void Ray openers, a few Stargate kind of setups and that kind of stuff. One out down the bottom. Still just wandering around a little bit. Lots of pinging going on between MaxPax and BeastyQT. Really pinging either side and keeping an eye on things. Phoenix on the way out. The next gateway coming through. There's going to be another ping from Elazer and Lambo up here. I get a little bit distracted by the pings, because when the pings go off, I feel like I have to look there, but obviously it doesn't necessarily make sense. They're pinging something like, oh, make sure you check this. So I look here, there's nothing there. They really are pinging everything. They're gonna say, oh, look, a Stargate and a gateway. So the scout is good, and it is just straight into Phoenix, and multiple Phoenix at that. So looks like BeastyQT is in charge of the Phoenix initially. He's gonna take them across the map. So taking these up to the upper left-hand side to begin with. Phoenix up the top side, looking to see what might be up for picks, up for grabs. Honestly, not much just yet. There's a couple of queens hanging around the top side. The rest of the Phoenix still up the top as well. Plenty of Lings going to go down the south from Lambo and Elazer. So they're going to counter and just go straight into the third. It's Elazer on the micro over here. He's got control of these Zerg lanes, as it looks as though Lambo is going to defend with the queens against these Phoenix, try and minimize the damage taken. But a couple drones being picked off between bases so far. Aggression with the Lings really helping just to force a couple cancels and stuff, slowing things down a little bit. Let's try and knock in on the front door. Missile upgrade starting. Rotron about to finish. Laz about to be done. And the Twilight Council is just building in the main base as well, so waiting for that to come through. Yeah, our Phoenix is going to go up into the top side. Not really many openings yet, you know? Not really many openings so far. As you do see, the Phoenix will grab a couple of these drones, so a couple more workers going down again. Dark Shrine's on the way up, and that's going to be the follow-up here. So the first real tech beyond the Phoenix is going to be a Dark Shrine. Obviously, that can lead into Archons as well, so something to think about. The Phoenix going to recall home, and they lose one of them. It's a good pick-off here as Lambo and Elazer are able to get themselves a really good setup against the Phoenix. I think they've defended well. They're on their way to the Hydras. Already killing the Phoenix is really good. These Lings are staying active, and yeah, a couple force fields, you're losing a few of these Lings, but you're just keeping track of the army as well, right? This is all scouting information that you're picking up on. You're saying, okay, well, the army looks like this right now. Okay, this has just happened. Pulled back out around the left-hand side. There's a few Phoenix down over here. Moving around a bit as well. Infestation Pit is on the way up. Again, Dark Shrine going to be done fairly soon with the charge upgrade still coming out of the Twilight. Plus one attack on the way. Approach speed about to complete, and again, a bit of everything just on the way from Elazer and Lambo. The Infestation Pit too, I'm really intrigued to see how they play with this. I mean, there's still more Phoenix being built from Beasty MaxPax. Right? I mean, that's a questionable sort of thing as well for me. I mean, how many Phoenix do you really want to go up to here? That's a lot. Things are going to go and grab... Oh, nearly grab a probe, but it gets to the battery in time. You can just see kind of how active Elazer's been with these Lings, right? And this is just because of Archon mode, right? This is a benefit of playing Archon. And these Lings just get 6 probes right there. So that's really nice pickoffs. And it's on the gases too, so... Gotta reset that. You lose a bit of gas mining. Here come the Zealots, though, and what's ready to deal with these Zealots? Well, not a lot just yet. Roaches and a couple of Hydras are making their way over. As the Phoenix lift up a few of these Hydras, the problem is the Hydra count's just not high enough, and then if the Phoenix aren't controlled, this is just going to snowball, because now your Hydra count's not going to be big this next round of Hydras that finish up either. It's going to be the same as it was before, so what stops the Phoenix from just lifting and removing them from the equation once again? Well, really not that much. Pretty much nothing, really. More pings out the front there, as we do have our Temple Archives about halfway done. Nexus is building up on the 4th base, and just going to see the few DTs. They're going to make their way out up that right-hand side. Everyone's still pinging around here. Hive and the Lurk is on the way up. Just going to see the cannons coming through. Dark Templars continue to build, and the Phoenix jumping into the main base is going to get a bunch of these Hydras already. So a few Hydras going down. Just make their way down this right side. Zealot's going to start charging into this, and it's a good force field. Catch a few of these roaches. In fact, that's a lot of roaches that just didn't do anything at all. So roaches getting traded out. I know that you're kind of building purely Hydras, but it's not like you're maxed out. Trading out those roaches, I mean, generally roaches being a bit of a front line can still be a good little positive. So obviously, we are on Lurkers, though, so defensively speaking, Elazer and Lambo are in a bit of a better position than they might otherwise be. As the seismic spines come up, the Lurkers are going to get their bonus range to try and make some extra bits and pieces happen. Plus 3 missiles On the way on the Evo chamber, there are Zealot run-bys setting up as well, so Elazer and Lambo already pointing this out to each other and making sure they are aware of what they're going to need to defend and where. GT over here is pushed away and actually gets killed out over. Wow. Okay, there's a Spore Crawler here. Good position for the Spore. That little extra Spore Crawler actually allows you to pick up that kill and means you don't have to deal with the DT elsewhere. It's a pretty big deal. Phoenix obviously still waiting to be used as well as they come back into play. You would imagine that you maybe see some multitasking with the two players. There's Hydra's still left in the main base as well. What's interesting here is you can see that MaxPax has overtaken this army, so BeastyQT is micro in the Phoenix early, and that might still be his job alongside these Zealots. But it is MaxPax on the main army control as they push up this ramp. They get rid of a Spore to begin with. You look as well, Unburrow and Reburrow results will push up through to the top side of the map. Group team is continuing to go down in a few different places. Roach Hydra looking to the right. It's actually a big push. The Zergs are going to take it across the map and try and do something with it. They're going to run into the army in the center here. The Lurk is also to burrow. Remember, no adaptive talents just yet. It's on the way. It's not ready yet. You do prioritize that range upgrade to begin with. The Phoenix find a couple Lurkers for free. It's going to be one of the powerful parts of still having the Phoenix alive. The fact you can lift up Lurkers in these fights and just kind of nullify their burrows. Spine's working on this left-hand side. A couple of Zealots starting to fall. You see the damage onto this hatchery. Doing pretty well, actually picking off this hatch. Now, a huge counterattack at the same time, so we might be about to lose a Nexus here as well. From BeastyQT. On the plus side from the Protoss, they are going to get rid of this base too. It might, well, it was looking that way, but the Zealots spent some time on the Spore. That might not be so bad if you do get the chance to follow up with DTs, but what's the likelihood of that when you're under so much pressure? Storm done, so you are able to buy a bit more time over here. Time which is going in toward the carriers, which are almost finished. The first couple carriers about to pop out. Are Elazer and Lambo really set to fight against the first carriers that are popping out? Well, they have Hydras, and that's about it. So no, not really, I think is the... I mean, I think they have enough Hydras for now. I think against the first two carriers, they're going to be okay. It's the extra carriers that might become a bit more of a problem as time passes by. BeastyQT and MaxPax re-expand to the bottom left-hand side. We see some probes transferring over. The Lurker burrowed up there does get a couple of kills. The Lurker burrows up. Archon and Mortal are going to move through. No detection here, though. So the one Lurker, there's the Observer showing up now, but the one Lurker survives. And we still have just this push on this right side. And it does feel like the Elazer and Lambo have gotten enough done. With this in the end, the only turning point right now would be to overwhelm with carriers. And it kind of works out on the left side, but not sure what you can really do to defend this over here. MaxPax trying to get some Zealots warped into DT. The Overseers are nearby. They're just not immediately here, and that's a nice catch, at least getting the Lurkers while the rest of the army is very far down south. Is there enough to turn this around? Probably not. As you can see, the Lurkers are still doing some really crazy damage. The Interceptors are going down. With no Interceptors, those carriers are going to be now on useless. And Hydras get rid of the Immortal, a Sentry. And now the rest of these Zealots being picked away at, and GG is going to be called. Elazer and Lambo truly do just have a little bit too much here. BeastyQT and MaxPax have to tap out from game number 1. 1-3 said welcome back as well. Thank you for the support. As we dive into the top right side of the map, it is going to be the pink Zerg player. It is Elazer and Lambo. Bottom left, the blue Protoss, MaxPax and BeastyQT. Imagine thinking that anyone would be left with nothing to do in Archon mode for any race. Trust me, every time I play Archon, my partner says, Wardy, you don't have to do anything. I've got this. I don't know if it's because I'm really bad or if my partner's just really good. I like to think it's the latter. I like to think it's the latter. It's probably the former. Yes, Maru Beyond coming up later today. They take on Special in Time in the quarterfinals. That'll be our 4th series up. This is currently series number 204. I broadcast today from these quarterfinals. And hey, what's up? Interlistic. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Well, not much to say about Pillars of Gold just yet. As a map, you obviously expect it to play a bit differently from the last one. This could be one where they try and mix it up a bit with some adepts, of course. We've seen that be fairly successful on Pillars of Gold. So that's absolutely a possibility. Something along those lines. They could just open Stargate again, and that's what they will do. There's nothing that says you need to open with the Adepts or so. It's just a nice way to maybe change things up a little bit at times. There's the Stalker poking and prodding the Overlord up to some high ground. Another tag. And tags everywhere. These teams are really tagging a lot again. Good communication is one of the key parts of playing Archon well. You need to know what you're doing, what your opponent's doing. You need to be understanding of what you're going to deal with when you're being attacked, what your opponent's going to deal with. One of the things I think Zerg is very strong at in Archon mode that doesn't really show in CVP as much as it does in other matchups, but creep spread is very powerful. Let's see if they can make any use of that in the ZVP matchup as well. Like I say, it's not something you usually talk about like a lot in ZVP. It's still a thing. It's just not as much of a thing as it is in ZVT or so. Stalker chipping away at a couple of lings. As things do come down on the bottom side, going to get rid of the Adepts. The Adept goes down. Now going to come through and get a little surround on a couple of the Zealots. So one Zealot goes down, the other just about surviving. Again, the link control is something that we've really seen just be obviously fantastic. It has been a... It's just one of those things, right? I mean, you've got basically one player that can just focus on these lings and this run-by play. So, of course, you're likely to be able to do well with it. So, yeah, we go into the Void Rays, and I was a bit nonchalant about it being this, but it is obviously what I suggested last game we might see. And then we saw pretty much just purely Phoenix. I actually kind of imagine this might be how BeastyQT and MaxPax tend to play most of their games, where they play Void Rays into like a Sky Toss setup. They were kind of on their way there last game, like I was saying, but didn't really quite make it in the end. So, see what maybe they can come up with this time around. Again, the lings just coming across the map here. Looks like Elazer has got control of these, so 4 lings starting to move on up. And again, can just dance around with these for a long time because you really are no pressure And again, you don't have to look back home or anything. You can just let Lambo do the work back at home. That's BeastyQT. Splitting up the Void Rays. Keep them on to the right side. You just want to clean up a bit of creep spread. And with double Stargate down, you would expect just a few more Voids to keep on pouring out and to help secure this third base. The Void's coming up the right side. A little bit of harassment into this main base. And you can see the Queen's already dropping. So BeastyQT having an okay time here. The Zergs have just about found the Hydras to help push this back. But a little bit of damage already done. Chunk of Bane's going to wolf in. I like this as well, right? Just a little bit of aggression. Gonna play Lingbane Hydra over all here from Elazer Lambo. Man, there's a lot of Voids still on the way up. Still building 2 at a time. We've gone up to what, like already kind of 7? They are switching to the Robobane now. If they go much further on the Void Rays, though, that really would be very aggressive as Sentry can force field these Banes. Beautiful force field is perfectly placed. Nicely handled. These Banelings do nothing. They kill off a couple of gateway units, and that's about it. So, really well handled here by the Protoss. It's a wasted set of Banelings. And there's Lambo and Elazer obviously just sat on 82 drones. Looking good. Now Void's pulled back down through the middle of the map. Some Queens making their way across as well. We're actually going to see the Drop Lord setting up too. So there's 82 drones. There's not like an all-in really, but it is fairly committed if the Queens are making their way across, of course. So you're definitely looking to deal some damage, but you're going to be attacking into Colossi. 14 Banes morph, and the Void's just going to go for the dive on the lair in the main base. You kill this lair, and then you recall home. And you get home for the defense. I mean, now you've just reset the Zerg's tech. Now you've just put them onto 3 bases. Okay. Banelings are going to be finishing up. Field's going down. The Bane's trying to sneak through the gap. And they are going to get in over here. So you see the Bane's getting in on top of this. I mean, the Bane's find some pretty okay connections. MaxPax and BeastyQT. Well, their supplies are definitely dropping a lot here. Can they hold on, though? Because they've still got the important units alive, right? They've still got Voids, they've still got Colossi. What's left alive is the more expensive set of units here, and oftentimes that's enough to make these games work out defensively. They're losing a lot now, though. The Queens are getting rid of the Voids. One of the Colossi has fallen. It looks as though Elazer and Lambo might actually just have enough to push on through this, to clean up and to take it home. GG. Elazer and Lambo are going to go up 2-0. And as Zerg's not wasting any time at all here, taking a 2-0 lead. Hard to wrap 2020 up, and yeah, hype is real. Like I say, we've already got a lot of plans of stuff to cast in 2021, so here is hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. Top right hand side, pink Zerg Archon is Elazer and Lambo up 2-0 right now in this best of 5. Taking on the blue Protoss on the bottom left hand side, MaxPax and BeastyQT. They looked so scary in the group stages. Just can't quite get it working right now in the ZVP. Hey, thank you so much. I've actually got a Kyber to shout out for the 17-month resub. Thank you so much, Kybrit, and thank you so much, Nazvalas, for the 28-month resub on top of that as well. We have Oxide here as this third map. A lot of pinging once again. These guys like to ping. I mean, early game, you got lots of APO. What are you going to do? Ping your teammate. Look, there's a probe. There's a probe. Teammate's like, mate, shut up. I know. literally been watching. Overlord heading down the bottom side of the map, and I don't see a couple of queens and a few lings in the way. Everything pretty standard again in the early stages. Let's see what the two of them want to bring out on Oxide. Probe gets away from the top. Just going to be seeing the Stargate on the way down, so BeastyQT and MaxPax not going to switch it up in terms of their tech structure. Maybe, I mean, they haven't tried an Oracle-based build order just yet, so maybe that's something they could do. Oracle, Phoenix, Oracle, or Oracle, Oracle, or even Triple Oracle is the one way they could maybe mix it up. That's going to be a Void Ray first for now. They could go Void Ray into Oracle, into Resonating Glaives or something. Oxide is again not a bad map for using Glaives on, so that's also a possibility if these two want to try and, if MaxPax and BeastyQT want to try and change it up and keep Lambo and Elazer guessing. I think that's important to do, otherwise you're just going to let Lambo and Elazer kind of control the game way too much. The last thing you want is for Lambo and Elazer to be kind of just running away with this, right? And just being like, oh, look, they're just building multiple voids again. Let's just build Hydras. Let's get the queens up. Let's just go from there. I do feel as though... Yeah, I do feel as though this Voider is going to take down the Overlords. I do feel as though there was some good parts of this last game that MaxPax and BeastyQT did have. You know, there's definitely moments in that game where it looked as though they might have had some opportunities and the Void Rays were starting to deal some good damage and stuff along those lines. It's morphing at the front. The Link pulls back, nibbling at the pylon in the wall off. Now an Adept gonna warp in and just gonna see the Void Rays on the way through. The Ling's looking to wrap around the Adepts. First Adept gets caught and killed. It's a nice catch. Again, Elazer on the control of these Lings has been pretty non-stop all the way throughout so far. Yeah, every game has been great so far. I mean, with the Lings, they've been really good at harassing, really good at finding openings. You see Overlord's speed on the way up here. That's about halfway done. With Overlord speed finishing, we might see some Queens making their way across the map and some Dropper Lords. And they are. It's time to bring out the German taxi. Kind of awkward, right? I mean, you got Lambo and Elazer on the same team. Do you German taxi or do you use the Warsaw subway? I mean, these build memes have been fun to read and follow lately. So the German taxi is going to come across the map. Roaches and Lings in production. Going to be moving across very soon here. Obviously, a lot of Lings to follow this up. The Queens have had to kind of stop short, though. No real protection against the Void, so you can't just fly across the map. Trying to push a bit more creep spread out in this direction at Corrosive Bile to scare things away. But yeah, the Queen's just kind of being tracked at the moment, so can't really go anywhere. Just have to slowly waddle forward. Dropper was trying to speed up the process, but it's again not really easily done. So Ravager morphing in the top side. A couple of force fields already down. Corrosive Biles will break those force fields. And into the third base we go. Good force fields though, going to keep the rest of the units away. Here Kevin the Queen's now dropping off. Super battery on the left side with some cannons to support, and honestly not enough Ravagers to truly break through this very quickly. The Queen's picking away at Voids on the right is probably the best part of all of this, but now the Voids have moved left. They're getting healed up by the batteries, and even the 1 or 2 Biles that are dropping are just getting healed up almost instantly. And this looks like a defense from MaxPax and BeastyQT. Now, Elazer and Lambo have not got back into droning just yet, so they are still without their drones. It's actually fun. Look at this. So, this is really cool. Elazer's controlling the Queens, and Lambo's controlling the Ling Ravager. So they both have different jobs in this attack, it seems. Is that the same for MaxPax and BeastyQT? It is. BeastyQT controlling the Void Rays. MaxPax controlling the rest of the army. This is not just one player macro and one player micro, and these are 2 players microing the armies and different portions of the armies to help out with this and to make the most out of all of the units. A drone Oracle across the map, forcing the drones to back away. Now Oracle is going to pick up a good bunch of kills. Oracle just out of nowhere looking good. The Dropper Lord is going to fall. Not much you can really do about that. In that scenario, at least. Spins Drag come forward again. Great preservation of the Void Rays. We've not lost a single air unit here. In fact, very little lost altogether here from the Protoss players. And so as the Elazer and Lambo back off, they might have to look toward truly going into plenty more drones and really just tech from here on out. See a Roach speed and melee upgrade starting. I mean, next step of that going to be the Baneling Nest as well. So we're going to play Lingbane Roach. Might even turn that into Lingbane Hydra eventually, because, well, there are still Voids up, so Hydras might not be bad to have. And now might just have to stick to Lingbane Roach Ravager and go from there. Let's go with the right, and the Overlord takes a little bit of damage. Going back in, Overlord gets shot down. The Queens are here to push the Voids back over the right side. A couple of other Queens in the main base gonna push these back down. You know, I mean, showing up. MaxPax bringing the Stalkers up. They have Blink. +1 not done yet. They've actually gone double Forge. But you don't frequently see. Usually you see just 1 Forge and an attack upgrade, but double Forge in it. Gonna go +1 attack and +1 armor right now. Couple of Biles and Stalkers will just dodge those couple of shots. The couple of extra Biles down again. Banes and Ravagers still joined up together. A Queen goes down the left-hand side. A couple other Queens showing up. Back and forth continues here. 11 more Roaches still on the way. Elazer and Lambo are maxed out. It's just not the greatest kind of army comp. It's not like there's any splash damage here just yet, though, from MaxPax and BeastyQT. You know, as long as there's no splash damage, I'm not really too worried for Elazer and Lambo. I think they're going to be okay. Splash damage is where this game would change. He just blew up. They just blew up all of these Banelings into the sentries. So the sentries, apart from 2 of them, have just died, and suddenly you can't protect this army. So now you kind of got to run. It's going to leave the Zealots and the sentries a little bit exposed. As MaxPax and Beasty attempt to go up to a 4th base already. Roaches and Ravagers still showing up. Link's coming in. Nexus taking some damage. Stalkers back off to the right-hand side. And again, the back and forth does continue. Ooh, a couple of Biles actually connecting on some of those Banelings. Stalkers now blinking further back. Banelings continuing to fall. Roaches get into the natural expansion, going toward the main base. Voids are going to activate their prismatic alignments, chasing those down. But this is now going to start being a split-up affair. Of course, you've got two players to try and defend this with, but you're moving Voids with Prismatic on. They could obviously be getting over there much more quickly. BeastyQT not paying attention to the Voids, which he's meant to be controlling. Oh man, look at the creep spread. I know there's obviously just not been a lot of denial from the Protoss players in terms of the creep, but it doesn't take away from just how all over the map it is, in all honesty. Then still rolling through, connected in, a bunch of these Stalkers going down. Ravage continue to back off from this here. There's a few Voids coming up, and they will get rid of an Overlord on the right side as well. Big team is dropping first with bars going in toward the army again. MaxPax and Beasty are in a bit of trouble as their fourth base is being cancelled, their third base is being run by Lings yet again. And you just got this Protoss army really trying to shove its way into a position to make something work, but the supplies are getting lower and lower from Beasty and MaxPax. Elazer and Lambo continue to try and push on through. A few more corrosive bars going down. This Protoss army is almost on the verge of being enough. It's just not quite there. Just a little bit. The bile going down, and again, just a little bit of a fight. The problem is, I mean, you gotta push through this choke at some point. You've just gotta go as MaxPax and Beasty. They are getting disruptors up, and that will help. Also about to get Colossus range, so that also gives them an advantage. So, you know, a bit of an easier time fighting against this. I actually didn't realize they were without it, but that explains some of the difficulty they've had trying to pick fights. All of this is just showing up so far along, though, that Elazer and Lambo are maxed out yet again here. They've got the worker advantage. They've got Lings running by the bottom side again. Elazer being annoying with these as Lambo focuses on the defense back at home. Disruptor connects the Ravager to go down, and now it looks as though Lambo is going to bring the units out, looking for the surround. The Disruptors being picked away at here. First one goes down, the second one's got no chance. And then it's just a chase onto the Colossus. I mean, you got the Banelings rolling in. After Colossi 2, they could have maybe stopped for the Stalkers. And the Stalkers will start to fall over here. I mean, again, it's just a little bit too much. As two Colossi will recall out of there, but 179 to 79 supplies. Elazer and Lambo looking like they might just get the clean sweep in the quarterfinals. A couple of extra Banes just morphing in. Temple Archives coming up, but not going to be here anywhere near in time to get Storm up or anything like that to help out with this attack. The Bowls go up into the sky. A couple more dropping down still. The main base, you have the Roach Ravager still moving through. Probe's definitely in some trouble. A couple of corrosive bars still dropping down, kind of taking some damage. At the same time, over on the right side, the Roach Ravager still moving down with the Banes connecting as well. Colossi getting caught right away, and this is just going to be everything continuing to blow on up. Just the Colossi remaining. Can they pull off a New Year miracle? It seems like no, they will not. And MaxPax is out of here. GG's are called, and it is going to be Elazer and Lambo to take a 3-0 sweep to move on through into the semi-finals.